Now, I have the honor and privilege of introducing the mayor of SLO, the mayor of San Luis Obispo, Heidi Harmon, and I want to read her bio before she comes up here. Heidi Harmon has been an advocate for positive solutions to local and global challenges in San Luis Obispo for the past 30 years. Now as mayor, she brings fresh ideas to local government to support the people's vision for SLO. She is a social, climate, and gender justice leader and is committed to implementing creative housing solutions in the hopes of increasing inclusivity and diversity. She believes in strengthening relationships within the diverse voices of SLO residents, revitalizing the unique culture of their downtown, and enhancing community resilience through energy efficiency and sustainability in our changing climate. She is a reform-minded leader, passionate about keeping the voices and concerns of local residents at the forefront of everything she does. So please put your hands together and welcome Mayor Heidi Harmon.
Thank you so much, Gail. Good morning, my brothers and sisters in the Progressive family. This is so exciting. Yeah. This feels like a wedding. Here's my uncle. Uncle Joe Galliani is here, This is great. I just want to start with so much gratitude for all of you for being here, showing up, coming from places near and far to join together in the Central Coast here. And just want to welcome you to San Luis Obispo and extend also gratitude to Violet and the Chumash peoples for hosting us here on their lands. We're very grateful for that. So, we've been doing the work, right? All the people in this room and the people around the state, we have been doing the work and we are having success. We are winning, right? We are seeing what is possible when we get progressives into office, right? And what is possible when we turn protests into policies, right? Because we are actually doing it. We are creating the future that we deserve. And there's a lot of examples around that, around the state. I just wanted to highlight a few. Kevin DeLeon leading the state to 100% carbon-free energy by 2045. Awesome, right? State Senator Hannah Beth Jackson authoring several bills to block expansion of offshore oil drilling. Yeah? Really important. State Senator Ben Allen and Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez, who introduced legislation to phase out the sale and distribution of single-use plastics by 2030. LA Supervisor Sheila Kuehl, who led the effort on the Board of Supervisors to fund and launch the Clean Power Alliance, CCA, this year. That's awesome. And California Congress members Jimmy Gomez and Representative Ted Lieu, who introduced Climate Solutions Act of 2019, a bill that establishes a national renewable energy standard to drive the United States towards 100% renewable energy by 2035. Right? And if that's not enough, right here in the beautiful city of San Luis Obispo, since I became mayor, we have made climate action one of our major city goals for the first time in our city's history, joined a CCA program amongst many, many other climate initiatives, and working to increase more affordability here in our community, another California statewide level challenge that we're facing. And in some ways, as important, of course, is working to become a more inclusive and equitable community. So we have a welcoming city here, which is a sanctuary city status, where we do not pursue anyone on the basis of their documentation status here in the city of San Luis Obispo. Everyone is welcome here. And one of the things I'm the most proud of, that makes me the most emotional, actually, and I cry almost every time, is that since I've been mayor, we never, ever have celebrated a Columbus Day, and now are only celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. Right? This is what happens when you turn protests into policies, and this is what it is to be progressive, right? 2 years ago, or a little bit more than 2 years ago, this country, not the people in this room, but this country really inaugurated a time of hate, right, and bigotry. But the people in this room and the people across this country have together and instead inaugurated a loving commitment to making our cities and our state and our world a better place. We've inaugurated a resistance and a persistence. In this moment, we are called to stand up beyond the borders of our own communities and stand with marginalized people everywhere across this country. And this is what it is to be a progressive. It's when the federal administration tries to take a woman's right to choose, we stand with women and girls everywhere to ensure that right. When the administration wages war on working people, we stand with workers for a living wage and union protections. When the administration comes after people of color or immigrants or anyone due to their marginalized status, we stand up and stand with them to protect the civil rights of all people. And it's when they try and tell us that the biggest threat to our humanity, our changing climate, is a hoax, that we stand up and fight to protect the planet and the future itself. We are turning marches into a movement, and this is what it is to be a progressive. I mean, let's get serious. Our changing climate is moving in a direction with a diminishing possibility for a living future. The federal administration continues to cater to fossil fuel interests by denying the basic reality of climate science. And with this pursuit of an anti-science policies, they are endangering every single thing we love. Every single one of us and the future generations. And it is way past time for elected officials to say no. No to the profits of fossil fuel companies, and yes to the people, and yes to the planet. We are here to inaugurate a unified vision of government that is based on the principles of equity, justice, and civil rights for all. But we are not here to just resist. We are not here just to say no. We came here to say yes, right? Yes to Medicare for all, right? Yes to reproductive rights. Yeah. Yes to this call and response. Yes to a living wage. Yes to affordable housing. Yes to paid family leave. Yes to college for all. Yes to equal pay for equal work. Yes to racial justice. Yes to gender justice. Yes to recognizing the fundamental human rights of every person regardless of status. And yes, 100% yes to a livable planet and the Green New Deal. Together, we can make the state of California and the world a more just, equitable, and sustainable and loving place for everyone. And there is no more time to wait or be silent. It is time to stand together like our lives depend on it, because they do. We are here today to demand that the focus of our country shifts away from militarism, racism, and misogyny, and wealth inequality, and instead move our focus towards supporting the working people who have built this country and have built this world, right? It's time for a multiracial, multi-ethnic, multi-gender, multi-generational, and multi-denominational movement, a movement of movements. We are turning marches into movements and protests into policies, and this is what it is to be a progressive. Progressives have the vision and the strategy and the political will to create a more democratic society that puts the long-term sustainability over the short-term the long-term sustainability of everyone over the short-term economic gains of a very, very few. And while this movement bridges progress and pragmatism, it demands that we dig deeper into our own values, into everything that we do. The revolution starts here in this room, right? And it also starts here in our own hearts. The revolution starts from within. And it starts with a love of justice, love of fairness, love for our fellow human beings, and love for equality for all. Love is the greatest act of resistance. Love inspires us to build a bridge between conviction and compassion, between criticism and kindness, a bridge rooted in truth and reason. Love leads us always to support people over profits and calls us to courage. It is your courage that will lead the way to the revolution, and it's your courage that will lead the way to the evolution. It is time for a revolution led with love and a courage to stand together to make this country and this state and this world united around a vision of equality and freedom. And that's why we're here together this weekend. We're here together this weekend not just to look at the problems, but to be an integral part of the solutions. And as we turn protests into policies, we double down. We're doubling down on being more in love with the solutions than we are with the fight. And that is what it is to be a progressive. Thank you.